Are we live?
That's a great way to start the show every time.
Well, I'm not seeing that we're live.
Dude, yes, we're live.
Why is the screen not okay? Okay, I think we are live. 1 second, this TV's about to. What? What's up? Good morning. Hope you all had a lovely Saturday. I did. You know what? If I bet that Bengals over, I would have had a winning NFL Saturday. I had a break-even day, which I would have taken after that Patriots loss to start off. That sucked, man. Not even close. The hit rate of road favorites this year is crazy. They're hitting at like 65%, over 65% road favorites. That's so crazy. But I did get the Bengals, which was like one of those. I mean, there's so many of those NFL games this year. I won the bet on that game, but it's so many NFL games where it's like when you're trying to handicap these games and you look back at that one, like, was Cincinnati the right side? Was the over the right side? Where like it's crazy how it comes down to the last couple plays. But yeah, I won the Bengals bet, and then in the Rams game, I had Rams -6.5, which lost, but I had Cardinals team total under 20.5, which won. So I broke even in the NFL yesterday. As far as college football, I think I went 2-2 there as well. 1 second. Bowl games I've actually done well in. It's like the only thing I've done well in is recently is bowl games. How did I do yesterday in the bowl games? 1 sec. All right. So I got... What the fuck? Where's UConn? Okay, yeah, I got UConn, lost Boston College, lost the TCU over, but I got the Iowa State over. I don't even remember what... Oh, Colorado State team total under 1, NC State -7. So, yeah, like a break even on both. So, yeah, why don't we start off with a tennis bet, because I've never lost. Guys, I have a 100% hit rate. Never once lost a tennis bet given out on this show. So I know people strive for 55%. I'm the type of person that strives for 100%. And I've never lost one of these. Tongue in cheek, I've given out one yesterday and it hit. So I'm 1-0. This one is Hercax. I don't know who these people are. This is someone else's pick. It's Jess from the Discord. Over 23.5 games played in the match at -115. So, yeah, there we go. Tennis bet from Jess. She hit the last one. Let's go on to NFL. Apparently, it's windy in Buffalo, according to the comments. So that's pretty exciting. We're starting with Jets Bills. Do you have the poll up?
Yes.
Jets +10, Bills -10. I'm on the Bills at -9.5. This shitty weather makes it... It's not one of my biggest bets of the day, but I did bet it. It's not even... There's a lot of bets today where it's like, I guess. So the Bills do need this game. This is not a meaningless game for Buffalo. They need a win to clinch the 2 seed. Kind of like how they're coming off the shaky game against New England. The first half of the Patriots game, they were getting beat, and I kind of like how that was... I don't want to call it a wake-up call, but maybe a little bit, where if I'm McDermott, Josh Allen, the leadership of that team, like, guys, we can't be playing with our food here. So I expect the Bills to come out and show us their best fastball here. The Jets' offensive line is banged up. Tyron Smith is out. Fashanu's out. Morgan Moses is banged up. He only practiced once this week. It's not even confirmed that he's going to play. So the Jets could potentially be without 3 offensive tackles here against a completely healthy Bills defensive front. Pass rush is going to be tough for Aaron Rodgers. Keep in mind, we know Aaron Rodgers at this point of his career is not mobile. So the Bills pass rush against a Jets offensive line dealing with injuries. It's not like Aaron Rodgers is going to have run support here. Jets can't run the ball. And even if they could, on the road in Buffalo against that defensive front, I don't know if they could run the ball here. So, yeah, I don't know what the Jets are going to do offensively in this game in the bad weather. On the other side, I mean, the Jets defense, they still have talent there, but there's still no C.J. Mosley. They've also got injury question marks across the board. Quinnen Williams questionable. Hassan Reddick questionable. Sauce Gardner questionable. Tony Adams questionable. Michael Carter questionable. So with C.J. Mosley out, that's one starter. 5 other starters on the Jets defense are listed as questionable. But even so, this Jets defense really hasn't looked good since they fired Saleh. So I don't even know if I think this Jets defense is good or how motivated they are. Look, it's a division game in bad weather. I could completely see the Jets making this one interesting. So if the weather's terrible and it's just like a sloppy-ass game, sure, it's probably the wrong side. But I think bad weather helps Buffalo's cause, in my opinion. I trust Josh Allen in the bad weather a lot more than I trust Aaron Rodgers. I don't know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do in this weather. Josh Allen could at least run the ball. So I'm on Buffalo minus 9.5 here.
I got nothing. I'm like 155 in my last 56 bets. One of those losses with Garrett Wilson. Guy should have had 100 yards last week, but his quarterback doesn't like him. I'm not betting on the Jets. His team's pathetic. Pass.
You say his quarterback doesn't like him?
Yeah, I mean, it's just we're literally dealing with a 40-year-old toddler here, so I'm not betting on this team.
Toast?
You're muted, Toast.
What a jackass. He's muted. You're muted, dude.
I said I'm sorry. I was trying to get to the thing. I had multiple screens open. We're not all professionals like you. Gosh. Devontae Adams, anytime touchdown, plus 170. Aaron Rodgers has 499 touchdowns. If he's going to be feeding somebody, it's going to be the guy that he likes on the team, and that's the one guy is Devontae Adams. So it's square, but that's what I did to have a little fun. I also have the Bills in a 3-team parlay. Okay.
Oh, that's right. I tailed that stupid parlay. Should we talk about it now?
Too. It'll hit. Oh, yeah, we could talk it. It's
Bills, give your parlay out.
Bills, Bucks, Eagles.
There should be
that's
a graphic.
The 3 teams. That's the 3 teams that are in my parlay. Again, I don't want to lay 9 points or whatever with the Bills, but at the same time, I don't think there's a chance in hell that they lose this game. So that's the 3-team parlay. We'll talk about the other ones. Kyle touched on the other parts of the game, but yeah, we'll get on the other 2 when they get here.
All right, let's talk about the next football game. Real quick, injury reports. Someone commented earlier, Kyle, you said that T. Higgins wasn't going to play, and he did. What's that about? Guys, I'm just reading you the injury report that the team releases. I am not like a beat reporter in the locker room. The Bengals had T. Higgins listed as questionable, so I said T. Higgins is questionable. Just reading you other information.
Also, I edited the video, and he never said that he was out.
Yeah, I never said he was out. I said he was questionable because he legitimately was questionable.
We need to listen up here. We need to look at the injury report.
And another thing on the same topic, this one was crazy. So I believe this was on Thursday. People were complaining about the weather report. Like, I am not a meteorologist. I am just reading you the weather report. It's someone else wrote it. I'm not there on the scene with a barometer pressure reader. Like, I don't fucking know. I'm just reading you the weather report there. Speaking of which, the weather's supposed to be pretty bad there in Buffalo. In case you haven't heard, it's going to be windy.
Good weather in this one.
Yeah, I heard it's gonna be perfect conditions here.
Perfect conditions, no participation, right, Toast?
Any precipitation here?
Barely little, very little,
very little,
very little precipitation.
It says chance. What am I supposed to say?
They're indoors, Toast.
They're indoors.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the last game. Sorry, I was reading all the comments about everybody getting all mad at me. So.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just start us off.
Wait, hold on. Does our graphic says Raiders +2?
Yeah, I guess it does say Raiders +2.
It's Raiders -2.
Yeah. All right. So it's backwards. Don't worry, folks. The Raiders are laying here. I went with Bowers longest reception over 21.5. I mean, we're talking about probably the biggest home run threat we've seen at the tight end position since George Kittle burst onto the scene. And as a result, this guy with a 22+ yard reception in 10 to 15 games thus far. But with O'Connell, he's been extra profitable over his last 5 of 6, averaging a 32-yard reception in each of those games. On top of that, dude just hot right now. He's making big plays all over the place over his last 6 of 7. And where he's really making these big plays is away from Allegiant Stadium. At Allegiant Stadium, which is his home field, just 2-5 to the over, averaging a 19.7 longest reception. On the road, though, 8-0 to the over, averaging a 30 longest reception. Now going to face a Saints defense that's been very vulnerable to the tight end position. They've allowed the second most yards per reception to the position since week 3. We've now seen the last 8 of 11 tight ends to face New Orleans go over their longest receptions mark. I'm fine with the yards as well, but I feel like this is the slightly more valuable angle, so go with the Bowers over longest reception. Also, we've had a lot of success with the longest market rather than, I guess, just the total yard. So, yeah, going with the longest.
So I have a bet in this game, and it's kind of one of my favorite bets by default. It's one of my favorite bets because the slate sucks and these games are trash. So that's why it's one of my favorite bets, because there's just not a lot of bets I like. I'm on the Raiders here. I got some -1.5. I got some money line. As you guys know, the Raiders were one of my top bets last week in cash. That was one of the bright spots of last week, was the Raiders coming through. So when I first looked at this game initially, I wanted to take the Saints here. I still think that Spencer Rattler is better than what he's shown us. I feel like Spencer Rattler has a ton of talent, and it hasn't really been given an opportunity where he can show it. He's always under pressure. He's always in these terrible situations. Last year at South Carolina, you've probably heard me talk about this. They had the worst offensive line in the SEC. He literally spent his entire season at South Carolina running for his goddamn life. So now here he is in the Saints, and then he's kind of put into the same situation. So at first glance, I was like, yo, this Raiders defense, maybe this is an opportunity for Spencer Rattler to finally show us that arm that had him as such a highly touted recruit in college. But the more I looked at it, the more I'm like, I don't know if this is the spot. So first of all, Eric McCoy is out again. And if you don't know who that is, that's probably the Saints' best offensive lineman. He's the center, probably the most important piece there. If you remember, the Saints started off the season lighting it up. Remember, they beat the shit out of the Cowboys, and they beat up on the Panthers. And through 2 games, they were averaging like 40 points per game. They were averaging like 7 yards per carry. Then McCoy got hurt. And the 4 games after that, they looked awful. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't generate any push. So this guy being out is a big deal at center for the Saints. He's out again. And with the banged up offensive line, no Kamara, do we really think that Spencer Rattler's going to have run support here? Because I don't. Not to mention the Raiders defense has been pretty solid against the run. They played a bunch of offenses that can't run the ball, to be fair, but the Raiders defense looks pretty solid against the run. Saints missing McCoy, missing Kamara. I don't know if the Saints are going to be able to run the ball in this game. And if the Saints aren't going to have run support, we're talking about Spencer Rattler making throws to those receivers. Now, normally, the Raiders run a lot of man coverage, by the way. And in most cases, I would say, who the fuck cares about the Raiders' man coverage? But in this particular instance, I mean, you got Nate Hobbs on one side, Jack Jones on the other side. Not that those are elite corners, but you look at who's at wide receiver for the Saints in this game. Nate Hobbs and Jack Jones can cover those guys. So the Raiders' man coverage, normally I'm like, good luck. But I actually think it could be effective here because those are decent corners, and the Saints have no wide receivers. Who's the Saints' top wide receiver today, Prop Beaver?
I mean, it's Marquez Valdes-Scantling, I would say, right?
Point. Case in point.
Case in point.
So I actually think the Raiders' man coverage can be effective here. It's crazy how this is looking like the Raiders' defense might play pretty well here. And then on the other side, look, I'm not going to gas up the Raiders' offense, but I will say it's become evidently clear that Aiden O'Connell is way better than any other option the Raiders have at quarterback. He's not just like, O'Connell, Gardner Minshew. Nah, I mean, he's a giant step above the production Gardner Minshew was giving us. So Aiden O'Connell at quarterback definitely bumps the Raiders offense up in terms of my respect for them. And the Saints, as you know, if it wasn't for Carolina, probably have the worst run defense in the NFL. If the Carolina Panthers didn't exist, I would say the Saints have the worst run defense in the NFL. So even though the Raiders don't particularly have a rushing attack, their offensive line's completely healthy. That wasn't the case earlier in the year. Raiders might be able to run the ball too. So, yeah, I mean, I have this one at 3. So getting a -1.5. Let's do it, Raiders. Make it 2 in a row for me.
Did you see that the Raiders had issues with their plane?
No.
They didn't get it. Yeah, they didn't get in. Their plane was delayed, like, I think 8 or 9 hours. They didn't get in till like 1 o'clock last night. So that does kind of suck. I don't really know how much to put into that, but it is true. I looked up about it.
Toast is on the plane shit. He always knows the plane
he does
shit.
know the planes.
Toast knows plane.
Guy knows plane.
I got plane. I'll just go really quickly because I can't really add much, but I did play the Raiders as well. I played them last week. I think that with O'Connell at quarterback, they're a completely different team. And then here's a cool little trend. Over the last 20 years, teams like the Raiders who broke a 10-game losing streak like they did last week are 6-1-1 ATS their next game. So I don't really like the fact that the plane issue is going on. Somebody mentioned that in the comments. I don't remember who. I think, yeah. But anyway, touche to them. But yeah, I don't really like the fact that they got in late. That's for sure. But I did play the Raiders last night.
Prop Beaver, can you check your email? Toast actually said this in the voice chat last night. We had a voice chat where we went through the NFL slate in the Discord last night, and Toast legitimately said this quote. And he wasn't being sarcastic. He wasn't trying to be. This is what he said.
Yeah, you did.
Actually,
I literally wrote it down.
Actually, wow, you did say this.
He did say it.
Yeah,
I'm very confident in this. I didn't know that there was plane issues. I didn't know there was plane issues.
I mean, honestly, what would you say? They got in at 1. We were in there at 1. Toast. You should have known about the fucking plane issues when you said this.
My sources are late.
I spoon-fed the Raiders to you last week, and I'm gonna spoon-feed the Raiders to you again this week. This is a lock, boys.
He said
that's a fair statement.
Those exact words is what he said. And to be fair, Toast was all over the Raiders last week.
Yeah, and that was a great bet.
Yeah, he did spoon feed it.
All right, let's just hope the plane doesn't derail our.
Let's go to the next game.
Fantastic meal ahead of us.
I wouldn't have made that comment about the spoon feeding if I would have known about the planes. That's all I got.
Oh wow! So now that his plane guy got back to him, there's no more spoon feeding.
God. We got to get this plane guy in speed, though. We got to hire him on staff.
Hold on. Late weather update. Live from Buffalo. The weather's actually warm for this time of year. A high of 50. Heavy rains expected. Consistent light rain since about 10 a.m. Eastern time. That sounds like a guy with a goddamn barometer.
That's a guy with a plane.
Or that's in Buffalo. Either way, that's a good thing.
No, but that was a barometer type message. That's just not a random guy. Who talks like that? That's
true. Who talks like that?
That's the real deal right there. Colts, Giants. What a football game here. Do you want to, Prop Beaver, would you like to talk about downs?
Yeah, I'll talk about downs. You talk about Thomas or Josh?
Josh Downs.
Yeah, so I'll talk about Josh Downs here. So I went with his over 5.5 receptions, over 59.5. You got to shop around for the receptions line. I believe you could still get the -127 on Caesars, -135 I think is on BetMGM. Anything you're paying past -140 or greater, I wouldn't bet that. I would just bet the receiving yards at that point, but since I could still get 5.5 for a playable price, I put a unit on each of them. Point being, since week 5, the Giants have struggled mightily against the slot. 29th in catch rate allowed, 28th in yards per out run allowed, 23rd in first read target share allowed. And Josh Downs has simply been a cash cow when Flacco's on the field. 6-0 to the yards line, 5-1 to the receptions line, averaging 76.3 yards per game, 6.8 receptions per game, and over 9 targets per game, compared to, without Flacco, just 2-4 to the yards line, 0-6 to the receptions line. So it's pretty notable that Flacco's getting the start in this one. Meanwhile, we have some notable improvement from this Giants rush defense as of late. Last 3 games, they're allowing just 3.48 yards per carry and 101 rush yards per game, compared to their previous 6, where it was at 154 and 5.2 yards per carry. So not only that, Jonathan Taylor also a bit less effective when Anthony Richardson's off the field. So if the Giants could take away the run here, force the Colts to pass the ball, which they already do more when Anthony Richardson's off the field, I think that Josh Downs is going to get over that number. Just going to play the down system with Flacco on the field. So like Josh Downs, and I'll tell you what, if Thomas gets a jersey today, I'd play his over as well.
Yeah, Thomas is dealing with an injury though, hamstring.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I don't think he's in.
Shit.
I don't think he's in.
I'll ask these after.
Okay.
So I'm on a downs ladder.
Okay, wow.
I don't know. You did, it wasn't as powerful right there. Last night in the voice chat, it went with everyone in the Discord. It was very compelling.
My downs speech?
You sold me on downs.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Well, I guess I just had the fire of 1,000 suns last night. I don't know what happened.
You really did.
Yeah, there was like a riveting speech about downs last night. Toast, are you on downs?
Yes. I can't even take it seriously, but yeah, I did tail that, but I also played the Giants, and I played the Giants money line as well. Yes, the Giants are absolutely terrible. I get all that, but in what world are the Colts 7.5-point favorites on the road with Anthony Richardson or Joe Flacco or Prop Beaver at quarterback? Like, I just don't really care. So the Giants haven't won a game at home all season. There's some decent trends heading in the directions of the Giants. But regardless, I just don't feel like that the Colts should be this big of a favorite towards anybody, especially on the road. Not to mention the fact that the Colts have done all their solid games have been within the division. Outside the division, they're like 4-7 ATS or something like that. So, I took the points with the Giants.
Well, my thoughts on the game. My bad. I probably should include that. I did want to play the Giants also. Like Toe said, in what world are the Colts laying 7.5? I think Joe Flacco's a little overvalued based on the last couple of years. He's come in, right, spelled Deshaun Watson, spelled Anthony Richardson, and he's had some decent games stat-wise, fantasy football-wise. Efficiency-wise, the numbers don't look very good. And granted, you take a quarterback and you compare him to Deshaun Watson or Anthony Richardson, yeah, he's going to look pretty good. I don't really think Joe Flacco's very good. And it's not that I think everyone thinks he's good. I just think people are like, Joe Flacco, yeah, the Colts. Like I don't think he's very good. He's like 42 years old or whatever the hell. And the Giants, although the defense is completely wrecked, they still have Brian Burns playing in this game. They still have Kayvon Thibodeau, which means the Giants still have two elite edge rushers against an immobile quarterback. The Colts run game, by the way, because you might be thinking, Jonathan Taylor against the Giants defense. Yeah, I'm with that. The Giants run defense is terrible, but you look at the splits and it's pretty clear the Colts run game works way better with Anthony Richardson at quarterback. They weren't really running the ball very well when Flacco plays quarterback. So I can't get there laying the 7.5, but I also couldn't get there taking the Giants plus 7. These ugly dogs just aren't cashing this year. Road favorites, I've never seen anything like it. Road favorites have such an insane hit rate this year where, like, normally, you're winding in years past, like Colts are like a bad team minus 7.5 on the road. Don't even think about it. Just take the ugly home dog. But that's not the case this year. These ugly, chalky road favorites are cashing this year, so I can't do it with the Giants.
Tough one, Chube. All right, on to the next game. We're going to talk Panthers Bucks.
Panthers, Bucks. I'll go first. I bet this one. I got the Bucks.
Are the Bucks the luckiest team in the NFL?
What? How are you?
I just don't feel like they're that good of a football team, and they continue to win games. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know. I feel like their offense deserves a bit of credit. I mean, they finally established a run game. I feel like last year they were way luckier. If anything, I feel like they're almost unlucky this year. I feel like last year they were super lucky. Like their first and second down offense was amongst the worst in the league, but they were like historically good on third down. So Baker Mayfield was just able to like whip them out of these holes every single time and somehow make these magical plays to get them in these like scoring position. But now this year, it's like they actually have a good offense. They just keep getting hurt all over the place. Their run game's fantastic.
I'm taking a piss real quick.
It's just like their defense keeps letting them down, and I feel like they keep getting unlucky in that aspect. Since Kyle's taking a piss, I'll just start us off here. I'm going to play the play that pretty much everybody and their mother will be on here. I truly don't give a shit. He's the man, the myth, the legend. His name is Bucky Irving. And yeah, it's pretty simple here. There's supposed to be some shitty weather conditions here, pretty much all throughout Florida is what I'm seeing. And because of that, I did like Mike Evans as well, but two reasons why I kind of lean Irving over Mike Evans here to be the one that goes ballistic. If I'm Carolina, Mike Evans always goes off against me. You're without J.C. Horn. Why are you not just doubling the shit out of Mike Evans? If I'm almost like a bit of a dickhead in that regard, it's like I don't want Mike Evans getting his another 1,000-yard season here. And on top of that, this guy always cooks us. Like I would just double the shit out of this guy and not let him beat us. And then on top of that, the weather, obviously. So I think this is going to be a big-time Bucky game here. Just getting that graphic on the screen. And then let's go ahead and get into the reasoning here. The Panthers rush defense is a steaming pile of shit. They've allowed the last 6 to 7 starting running backs to face them to not only go over their line, but to record 100+ rushing yards. Yes, during that span, They've allowed 200 yards per game, 6 yards per carry, a 51% success rate, and 13 expected points added per rush. I mean, that is just so insane. It's hard to put into words. Meanwhile, Bucky's over the 84.5 yard mark his last 3 or 4 games with total plus rush attempts, averaging 106 yards per game, and that includes an 152-yard effort against none other than the Carolina Panthers, where he had a career-high 25 rush attempts. Meanwhile, Carolina, they're without their top 3 inside linebackers in this game. It's a must-win for the Bucs. The Bucs are without 2 of their top 4 receiving weapons in this game, and on top of that, they're comfortable 8-point favorites here. I just got to play Bucky. I'm playing him for the 85.5 regular rushing line, and I'm also going to play him for the 100+. Just not overthinking this one. It's really simple.
I'm on Tampa, but I like the... Okay. So I feel like everyone's looking at this game and they're thinking about Baker Mayfield and the Bucs offense against the Panthers' terrible run defense, which is a lot of what you just heard from Prop Beaver, and I don't disagree with it. But that's not the reason I placed this bet. This is at 9.5 now, by the way. Andy makes the graphics for the lines I got. He goes to my bets, and
yeah, that's why Bucky Irving over 85 receiving yards there as well.
Receiving yards.
Jesus Christ.
The tacos got him, bro.
Tacos got him, dude.
So I'm on Tampa Bay minus 8.5. Right, everyone's thinking the Bucs offense, right? Baker Mayfield in the run game and Mike Evans against the Panthers' terrible defense, and I get all that. The reason I placed this bet is actually on the other side, though. The Bucs' run defense is on one right now. Since week 10, they're allowing 65 rushing yards per game. 65, 3.45 yards per carry, under 30% success rate. Since week 10, the Bucs have maybe the strongest run defense in the NFL. I'm not saying they are the strongest run defense in the NFL. I'm saying since week 10, they have stronger numbers against the run than any other defense in the NFL, which, by the way, it's a decent sample size. We're in week 17 now. So since week 10, we're talking about 6 football games, maybe 7. So the Bucs run defense is on another planet right now. Not only is Carolina missing Chuba Hubbard, but the left tackle, their star left tackle, I always say, is it Moton?
Taylor Moton, yeah.
Or is it Matan? Because I was saying Matan, and then someone corrected me.
I think it's Moton.
All right, Moton. Not only is Moton, the left tackle, not playing in this game, Damian Lewis is also listed as questionable. He's a starting guard. Remember, Corbett is still out. Their starting center. This Panthers offensive line is great. They're going to be missing 2 pieces, maybe a third. So I don't know how great this offensive line still is, missing those pieces and missing the RB. I don't think Bryce Young's going to have run support in this game against a Bucs defense that's not getting run on. And in terms of the matchup for Bryce Young, I know he made some throws against Tampa Bay the last time they played. The matchup isn't great. I would say that's more of an outlier. The Bucs run a ton of zone, ton of cover 3. Bryce Young has awful numbers against zone coverage, awful numbers against cover 3. So I very seriously doubt Bryce Young's going to go hero mode again. And on the other side, like Prop Beaver said, Bucs, no need to get cute here, Bucs. Just hand the ball off. They can't stop it. The Panthers are putting up record-breaking numbers in terms of defending the run. You look at their last 7-8 games, it's like, I have it listed as game logs against them, and it's like 6.4 yards per carry, 190 yards on the ground. 6.8 yards per carry, 200 rushing yards. Like, they're getting run all over every single week. It's been 2 months since they were able to even limit a rushing attack. So no need to get cute here, Tampa. Hand the ball off, and you're going to win comfortably. I also don't think Tampa will play with their food here. Carolina played them tough, just was kind of recently. So, yeah, I'm on the Bucs in this one.
I'm on the Bucs as well. Or I use the Bucs in a parlay. The reason that I didn't lay the points of the Bucs personally is that, I mean, since November 1st, I mean, the Panthers have lost 1 game ATS. They've been kind of rolling right now. Obviously, the injuries and Chuba Hubbard not playing and stuff hurts right now as well. And then the other reason that I didn't play it with the Bucs as well is that Baker Mayfield, as a favorite in his career, is like 20 and 32 ATS. So Baker's not a guy, especially I want to lay multiple possessions with. I played that 3-team parlay, as you guys know.
A lot of weather talk in the comments. Apparently, people that are in Florida that are near Tampa are saying it's all sunshine. Next.
I trust those people.
Good folks out there.
Yeah.
Dallas, Philadelphia. Good God, with this one.
This is a banger slate, just for the record.
It's horrible.
Yeah, absolute heater. I'll start off. I've got absolutely nada. This game's a pile of shit. If you're laying 7.5 points with Kenny Pickett, seek help. Yeah.
You got. This is what we call a rock in a hard place. You might be familiar with the term. On one hand, you're going to lay more than a touchdown with Kenny Pickett. He looked so bad last week. He looked so bad. On the other hand, you're going to bet the Dallas Cowboys with Cooper Rush at quarterback and no CD Lamb. Cooper Rush has had some success the last couple games. Most of it was to CD Lamb.
Dude, but it's Road Rush. I've told you about this before. You don't want to see Road Rush.
Road Rush.
2 games of Road Rush, man. Guy's been on fire.
Bet Cowboys then.
Against who? I'm not even talking shit.
No, I'm just saying,
Panthers.
it was against the Commanders and the Panthers, so 2 pretty dog shit defenses.
Road Rush.
And also, the only 2 times he's seen the Eagles in his career, guy has been dreadful. I mean, he has gotten sunned by the Eagles both times, though. I mean, I think it's under here at 38. So.
But hold on, you just said Road Rush.
Yeah, but I mean, listen,
You can't take an under in a Road Rush game.
sometimes the rush gets to you, and eventually you crash. So under 38, that'll be my lean for this game.
I don't even know. I don't have any bets in this one. I have that stupid parlay that has Eagles money line in it because I seriously doubt Philadelphia loses a game where they can hand the ball off and on paper should get 6 yards a carry in this one. That's the other factor in this game. Philadelphia is going to come into this one at home. The Cowboys know they're going to hand the ball to Saquon Barkley 35 times, and there's nothing they could do about it. The Cowboys are terrible against the run. So I know, and that's another thing too. Let's talk about how could you lay 7.5 points with Kenny Pickett. Cooper Rush looked absolutely terrible his first game as well. Keep in mind, he was not prepared to play in that football game, and that's really different. Now he's been prepping. He knows he's coming into this one, knows he's the starting quarterback. He knows he's going to get 5.5 yards every time he hands the ball off. I wouldn't be surprised if Kenny Pickett plays well here. I think the Eagles probably do. If you can get a 7, I think Philadelphia is worth a look. But as the only bet I actually have is this stupid parlay that I tell from Toast.
And that Barkley line, I mean, like Barkley's like the one guy, I guess, that most people are going to want to play, and his line continues to rise. It was 113 last night. It's 114.5 right now.
I got to be honest. I would consider Barkley under.
That's what I'm saying. Like at this point, at some point.
No, I mean, not even at this point. I mean, Kyle says that they could run all over the Cowboys. I actually kind of disagree with that. I think the Cowboys' rush defense has really turned it on as of late. The first time they faced the Cowboys, Barkley didn't even clear the mark. He only had 66 yards rushing.
He had 14 carries in the game because Cooper Rush gave them 14 free points.
Okay, point is he only had 66 yards rushing. If you look since November 24th, I mean, the Cowboys' rush defense has been on fire, especially against the running back position. The only position that's been able to look since November 24th.
I'm looking.
Okay, dickwad. Look at the fucking success rate and shit. It has been significantly better. You're only looking at it from our spreadsheet point of view. That shows quarterback rushing as well. You need to look at the running back rushing against them. They've been able to shut down running backs. Bucky Irving, the most efficient running back in the NFL, arguably, had 16 carries for only 68 yards against them last week. That was one of his worst games of the season. I'm just saying. You're getting a line that's 115 and a half yards here, and you know exactly what's coming at you. Just saying.
I hear what you're saying. The teams, Houston can't run the ball. Washington, all right. Giants, Bengals, Panthers. These are not teams that can run the ball.
Okay. I mean, Chuba Hubbard, well, I guess with Bryce
Take
Young,
Saquon Barkley's under.
Bucky Irving can run the ball, though. Like a top 5 rush attack in the NFL. So, you just got spoon-fed, dickwad. Thank you, too legit.
I'm not on Saquon.
You just got spoon-fed, dickwad.
God, I really want to play that under now, just because I know the world is betting the over.
Saquon Barkley's under. That's what Prop Beaver wants. Next.
Well, what is Toast like? Oh, he likes that parlay.
I like that parlay.
He likes the shittiest parlay ever.
That plus EV parlay. Okay.
It is plus EV. Thank you.
Next up,
Fabian Quintana is right, though. Whatever Beaver says, do the opposite and you'll cash 99 cents. He is right. So he's literally not wrong.
Tennessee, Jackson. I have a bet in this game, but I'm tailing Scoop. I said, Scoop, give me a bet in the Jags game. I'll tail it blindly, and if it loses, I'm muting you in the Discord. He said, Brian Thomas Jr. anytime touchdown. That's the he really went out on a limb here. Took BTJ touchdown score. I think it was like plus 145.
I got nothing to lose at this point. I'm going to put a unit on the Barkley under, so I will be locking that in as an official play. Just for those in the comments.
Toast is betting it too?
Yep.
I'm coming along.
All right,
Shit,
Toasty.
I'm going to bet the over them.
Cool.
Please do.
Let's have a little head-to-head. People in the somebody in the comments said all the passionate. Dave Marino said all the passionate talking. Nobody's gonna bet either side. I'll bet the side. Let's do it. I got nothing to lose at this point. As I said, one in a million in my last 1,000,001 bets. Might as well just lose another
I got
fucking
nothing
unit.
to lose. Hey, I've been there. I've been there, brother.
I got nothing to lose. Already foreclosing on the house at this
Hold
point.
on, so you're taking Saquon Barkley's under. You're taking that.
I don't give. Oh fuck yeah. I'm taking the under.
Dude, take his all under, like
I'll
40.
fucking take all under 25.5. They're bringing the clamps.
I'm gonna die if he gets injured and Beaver cashes at ease or something.
No, that wouldn't happen for me. They'll like boost him with steroids. They'll put a
course,
bionic leg on him on the
exactly.
sideline. They'll create a new cure for him. All right, what are we doing in this game?
Brian Thomas Jr. touchdown score via Scoop.
Okay, wow, that's
Thanks, Scoop. If I'm being honest, I have no idea with this game. I didn't know what to do from the jump here with Mason Rudolph at quarterback. There's also injury question marks. I could see I swear to God, I could see all four possibilities in terms of a side of a total. I could see it all comfortably. I could see the Jags winning this game 38-7. I could see the Titans winning this game 38-7. I could see either team winning this game 42-38. I could see either team winning this game 9-6. Just like this is, I feel like I have no feel at all for how this game's gonna go. I thought we were gonna see an under in the Titans Texans a few weeks back. It was like a shootout. So I don't know. I'm not even gonna venture a guess. I'm tailing Scoop.
all right.
Beaver, I know that you have a big play. Just really quickly. Everybody keeps on asking me about kicking props. It's not today. Today's not the day. We've cashed a couple the last couple days, but we got weather situations. We got teams that can't play for shit. Like the numbers are all messed up. I want nothing to do it. I know that Brendan Aubrey's been really good, but his field goals are at -150. His kicking points are at 6.5. That's suspect as hell. I just don't want to deal with anything right now. But yeah, that's all I want to say. Beaver, go ahead.
All right, so let me preface.
That's right. You like this one, probably.
Yeah, this was my favorite bet of the week.
Besides Saquon under.
I bet this. Yeah, besides the Saquon under, I bet this about 3 or 4 days ago, expecting to beat some lines. And now I got this wonderful weather report. So let me read it to you guys. There's a line of storms poised to move through Jacksonville in game. It will bring heavy rain on the leading edge, and I think there's a pretty good chance we see a delay in this game due to lightning. So that's just always fucking great. I expect heavy rain at some point, light to moderate rain beyond that for most of the game, and sustained 10 mile per hour winds with a gust of 20 to 30. So, I mean, just tart me and shoot me. God damn it. But here's the thing. I still think that this is a wonderful matchup for Chig, and I still think that they're going to pass the ball a bit here. So, I'm still playing this. If you want to bump it down from the 1 unit and 1 unit I played on it to a half unit and a half unit, go ahead and do that. I still ride with Chig here because the man's a goddamn monster right now. With Mason Rudolph as the starter, he's going over the yards line in 4 or 5 opportunities, averaging 48 yards per game, 7 targets per game. And in Chig's last 2 games, this dude is the flat-out focal point of the offense, even more so than Calvin Ridley. We're talking about 3.8 targets per route run, a 36% first read target share, and 2.8 yards per route run. The Jaguars lead the NFL in cover 2 usage at 27%. And why is that so notable here? because Chigakonkwo already is the focal point of this offense. Well, against cover 2, he has a 50% first read target share. Literally 1 out of every 2 plays against cover 2 with Mason Rudolph on the field, they're designing plays to this dude. So I think he's going to get tons of usage yet again here. And tight ends are just killing this Jags defense right now. Since week 3, 10 of 12 opposing tight ends to face them have cleared their yards mark. Since week 5, 8 of 10 opposing starting tight ends to face them have cleared their receptions line. Obviously, the weather sucks, but from a reception standpoint, I actually don't think it hurts us that much. If anything, they're just going to go for these short little dump-off passes. We saw how they started the Colts game off last week. He only had 4 receptions for 22 yards, and then we started seeing those deeper passes. So, I mean, maybe it hurts the yards line a little bit, but from that reception standpoint, you're getting that plus 145. I just think this is insane. I'm riding with Chiggy here. Fuck the weather. It's not real. Let's go.
I sent you a graphic to put on the screen.
Oh, you're okay. Well,
Toast, what did you play in this game?
I didn't play diddly poo. I tailed Beaver, his 50-unit banger.
You took the Chig?
Yeah, Chig over 36 receiving yards. Chig over 4.5 receptions. I'm all in.
I believe you sent. Okay. Oh, I thought you sent the same thing again.
Oh, he said tarp. I thought he said tart.
No,
I literally looked up tart me on Google to see what it meant.
No, he says this all. This is like his thing.
No, just tarp me and shoot me. I mean, no,
oh,
truly.
like murder. Got it.
Yeah. Kill. Yeah.
No, it's like a useless horse because that's how I feel these days.
Yeah,
sometimes.
that's like put a tarp over the horse and
I feel like get injured
because it's like lame, you know.
With like polio.
That's what he says.
I don't even know. All right, next game.
That's actually I like that actually.
Just tarp me and shoot.
All right. Now on to the best game of the day, folks.
I literally looked up tart me. I was like, am I missing something cool?
Holy shit, man. Dolphins, Miami, Cleveland. All right, I got bets in this game. Finally. Holy shit. That's funny. Just start me. All right, Miami, Cleveland. I bet the wow, that's funny shit. All right, so I bet both team total unders here. So in all seriousness, where are the points coming from in this game in Miami, Cleveland? I want to paint the picture of what we're looking at here. We're looking at, first of all, extreme windy conditions, extreme winds. Another disclaimer, not a meteorologist reading you the weather report. It's supposed to be extremely windy in Cleveland. We're talking about 2 quarterbacks who can't throw the ball. In Huntley, we got Huntley versus DTR here. So we've got 2 quarterbacks who cannot throw the ball in extreme windy conditions. So, okay, both teams are going to try to run it, right? Obviously. Miami hasn't been able to run the ball for pretty much the entire second half of the year. They did run it a little bit last week, but before that, they had gone 6 straight games where they were unable to run the football. They're on the road in Cleveland against that pass rush. Their offense is going to be extremely one-dimensional. I don't know what the Dolphins are going to do here to move the ball and score points. And on the other side, I really don't know what the hell Cleveland's going to do because Thompson Robinson, he can't play quarterback at this level. I mean, I took Cleveland plus 9 last week. I took Cleveland plus 9 last week against Cincinnati. I was catching 9 points. There was a point in the fourth quarter where the Bengals had 200 yards of offense and I wasn't covering. I took a 9-point underdog. The favorite had 200 yards of offense in the fourth quarter and I wasn't covering. This dude, he cannot play quarterback at this level. I don't mean that as a personal knock at the guy. I'm sure he's a fine young man.
He looks like a swell dude.
The quality of play we're seeing on the field, he can't throw the ball. And yeah, he's a good athlete. He's tiny. Like he gets tossed around. If anyone gets a hand on him, it's like, you know, when like you'll just see like a linebacker just drag, like he's tiny. So I don't know what the Browns are going to do here offensively. They're going to try to run the ball. Number one, the rushing attack isn't very good. Number two, second half of the season, the Dolphins might have a top 5 run defense. If we isolated to just the second half of the year, nobody is running the ball in the Dolphins. They're that good against the run. So I don't know what the Browns are going to do. I don't know what the Dolphins are going to do. And the reason, instead of just taking the under, which last night when we were having this talk, it was 34 and a half. The reason I didn't take the under was I didn't want one team to screw it up that gets like 2 defensive touchdowns or a punt return. So rather than being worried about one team screwing it up, that way, if one team screws it up, I'll at least split on the bets. So yeah, I took both team total unders. That's how I bet this one. I don't know if it makes any mathematical sense at all, but that's what I did.
Somebody commented any quarter to go scoreless at plus 120. That I don't know where that market is. I don't know what book that's on.
That is cool.
Sounds like a fantastic bet right there, my friend.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, it does.
My lord, these offenses are pissed. Yeah, so in this one, I went with Devon A-Chain. I went with his under 3.5 receptions. I also went with the under in receiving yards as well. And this is just a pure play on the fact that we're not getting Tua on the field. When Tua's on the field, Devon A-Chain is like, he's like CMC-esque. I mean, this dude gets an ungodly amount of receiving work, but when he's not on the field, we've seen that receiving work just completely fall off of a cliff. And not only is he not going to have Tua on the field here, but he gets one of the hardest matchups in the league in terms of getting that receiving work against a Browns defense that plays a lot of man high. And on top of that, plays a lot of man coverage and also plays a lot of one high. I mean, that's just not conducive to receiving overs at all. Without Tua, 4 notes to the under this year, averaging just 12.3 yards per game, 3 targets, 2 receptions. With Tua at 9-2 to the over, and 48 yards per game, 6 targets, 6 receptions. So that's absolutely brutal right there. The only reason I'm not going to place a full unit on this here is because the weather's poor with heavy wind gusts, so that usually scares quarterbacks away from deeper attempts downfield. And B, Jalen Waddle's out, one of the deep Dolphins' top receiving options. But I still think there's tons of value on this bet. I mean, last time a running back hit 29-plus yards against Cleveland was all the way back on October 20th, over 2 months ago. And only 2 running backs through 15 contests have managed 4-plus receptions against Cleveland. One of those guys was Alvin Kamara. His receptions line in that game was 5.5. So, yeah, I really do like A-Chain's unders in this one. I wish it was sunnier because this would be a 2-unit mix slam, as Modai would say. But
wow.
Yeah, I know. Well,
confidence level really high.
Confidence level pretty high, but I put a half unit on each just due to the scenario here.
Oh, the scenario. Because of the implication.
Because of the implication, because of the context.
Toast.
Did we talk about DTR's longest reception?
No, we did
I
not.
bet that too.
Yeah, we did not, but I'll put that up. Yep.
Yeah, I was tailing. Who gave that out in the Discord? I want to give him credit.
Remember. That's what I wish I knew, because I wish I could give them credit for it.
Yeah, who was? Yeah, because a lot of times people talk and I hear their voice and I don't know who the fuck's talking.
Was it GG that gave that out?
No, who?
GG. GG. No, I don't know.
I forget who it was, but I took this also. So I'm on that. I'm DTR under 29.5 longest completion. I don't know if he could throw it that far.
Besides the fact that we don't know if he can actually throw it that far, I do have some little information I looked up last night as I was laying in bed. He has 11 throws of 15 yards plus this season, and he hasn't yet to complete a single one, which is pretty big considering that he's at 29.5. And not to mention, over the last 2 seasons, he ranked 55 out of 55 in EPA per play, CPOE, all that good stuff, all the metrics that you would look at for a quarterback. He's absolutely dead last. In the 4 starts in his career for the Browns, they've scored 3, 13, 12, and 6 points. This guy actually is the definition of shitty.
My lord, dude.
That was a little unnecessary. I'm sure he's a fine young man.
No, I mean, I wasn't even saying my lord to his diss. I thought it was actually well justified. I mean, how are they rolling him out there?
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think you need to see anything at this point. We've seen.
What else do you need to see?
Yeah.
Now, I guess there's a report now that Garrett Wilson wants a trade. There's a possibility that Aaron Rodgers goes to Cleveland. Just reading the tea leaves.
Just get him out of here.
Aaron Rodgers goes to Cleveland.
Just get him.
They just posted it on the Underdog
team.
thing.
Yeah, they did say that actually. I mean, Rappaport's saying that if Rodgers on the team, that G-Dub is going to want to trade, which I understand and I believe that. I would want to trade too.
It's either Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins in Cleveland next year. So get ready, Browns fans.
Exciting things.
Nah, I'm sure that won't be a disaster.
No, their O-line's very good.
Next up, Green Bay. Hey, a good football game.
Yeah, this is hype.
All right. Forgot what this feels like. So yeah, I'm on Green Bay here.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, it sucks because obviously it's the best game of the day, right? But I feel like at this line at Minnesota -1, it's pretty coin flippy. I think this, I personally would have this one probably at a pick 'em, maybe Green Bay -1. So it's not like I'm taking the Packers thinking I'm getting a ton of value. I mean, we just look at the second half of the season that you could make an argument that the Packers have been the best team in the NFL. They look awesome. But specifically, the matchups I like here, number one, Green Bay's run game looks unstoppable with Josh Jacobs. And I like how they're kind of flying under the radar. They're not Saquon Barkleying it, where it's like everyone's talking about it. It's more, in the last 8 games, 4.6 yards per carry, 141 yards per game, success rate up close to 48%. Just a grinded out, piss you off run game. The type of run game where if you bet against them, you're sitting there like, someone make a stop. You just cannot get this offense off the field because Josh Jacobs is just going to get his 5 or 6. And that paired with Jordan Love's ability to make big plays, big explosive plays, it's tough to bet against that. And I know that Ivan Pace Jr. is back for Minnesota. For those of you who don't know who that is, it's the Vikings inside linebacker. Before he got hurt, the Vikings had the best run defense in the NFL. Ivan Pace Jr. gets hurt. Since then, they've been getting run on the last three, I think it's 3 games without him. So now it looks like Ivan Pace Jr., it's confirmed. He is back. So I know part of me wants to be like, oh, the Vikings elite run defense is back. Ivan Pace Jr. is back. I still think Green Bay is going to run the ball a little bit on them. I don't know if one player can make that big of a difference. They go from the best run defense in the NFL to a bad run defense because of one player. I think some of it might have been just regression, the Vikings run defense coming back to life. So I do think the Packers can run the ball, even with Ivan Pace Jr. on the field. But regardless, on the other side, I don't like the matchup for the Vikings offense. I'm more betting on the Packers defense, if I'm being honest. The Packers run defense, where did this come from? Nobody is running the ball on Green Bay recently, and I mean nobody. Hold on, let me pull it up and give you the exact numbers here. Whoops, 1 second. Green Bay, Minnesota. Okay. Green Bay defense, my bad. Here we go. So, they gave up 45 yards, 3 yards per carry to the 49ers, 39 yards, 2.8 yards per carry to the Dolphins. They held the Lions in Detroit to 3.3 yards per carry, 35% success rate. They held the Seahawks to 80 yards, 5 yards per carry in that game, 25% success rate. Saints, 67 yards, 3 point. Nobody's running the ball on Green Bay right now. And it's not like the Vikings have some explosive run game. In fact, Aaron Jones has been pretty mediocre. They're not the best rushing attack. We've seen the Vikings get shut down on the run plenty of times. So I don't think the run game is going to be there for Minnesota. And look, I know the Packers secondary is injured, but I don't know what we can expect from Sam Darnold in this game. In the first half, the last time they played Green Bay, they got up to a 28-0 lead immediately, and then he really couldn't do anything after that. So maybe Sam Darnold has a career day, but I think Green Bay is going to score, and Minnesota is going to be in a situation where they're trying to keep up in the limited time they're able to be on the field. I like the Packers here. I think I'm getting the better team as an underdog. By the way, since week 11, the Packers have been running more zone coverage than any other team in the NFL. That's terrible news for Sam Darnold. He's 27th in completion percentage, 30th in turnover-worthy throw rate against zone coverage. Also, same goes for 2 high safeties, another thing Green Bay does. So it's not even the best matchup for Darnold. Pack up.
Yeah, so this is probably one of my favorite plays of the day. We're going with Mr. Jaden Reed over, I think.
Oh, you like this one?
Yeah, I think it's now up to, well, Jaden Reed's not a quarterback, so it wouldn't be passing yards, Andy. It's over 53.5 receiving yards. He has absolutely cooked the Vikings through 3 matchups. Dude's averaging 103.7 receiving yards in those games. And Christian Watson, I believe he got ruled out for this one overnight. Reed's over his last 5 of 6 without Christian Watson going back to 2023. He's averaging 70 yards per game, 6 targets, 5 receptions. And Ivan Pace, as Kyle mentioned, he's back. Vikings rush defense far more vulnerable without him. I think that they're going to be able to kind of take away that ground game, force Love to beat them through the air. And speaking of that Vikings defense, they run zone coverage on 75% of their snaps. Reed has been far more effective against zone coverage. He's responsible for 24% of the team's yards against zone compared to 14% against man. On top of that, his yards per route run 3.1 against zone compared to just 1.1 against man, nearly 3 times more effective. The Vikings specifically also, since week 4, if we look at wide receivers with 100-plus routes and 50% of their routes coming out of the slot, have been getting killed by slot guys. JSN 95, Keenan Allen 82 and 86, Diggs 94, Reed 139. I mean, those guys were 5-0 in the 5 opportunities to the yards line, and they all not only hit this line, but they all hit 80-plus yards against this Vikings defense. So, yeah, I'm going to roll with Jaden Reed here to go over the number. And honestly, if I kind of wish I hit 80-plus as well. So, yeah, really like Jaden Reed here. But I put 1.5 units on it, so I think I accounted for it.
Toast.
I played the Packers as well. I'm not a believer in the Vikings. I know that they've played really, really well, but I think that they've been kind of lucky at times, and that's just a personal thing for me. But in the first matchup, look at the Packers' first 4 drives. Hold on, let me pull it up really quick. Missed field goal, INT, missed field goal, INT, and obviously the Vikings ended up winning that game. But I don't really. If you take a look at it, the Packers outgained the Vikings by 91 yards in that game as well. Again, as long as Jordan Love isn't making a whole bunch of mistakes, then I think that we'll be live in this game. Everybody likes to point out that the Packers haven't really played anybody, but at the same time, I'm looking at the Vikings schedule in the last 5 games: Seattle, Chicago, Atlanta, Arizona, Chicago. I mean, it's not like the Vikings are playing the murderer's row versus of NFL teams either. So, I just think that getting the Packers at plus money was too good to pass up for me.
Yeah, there's a lot of variance in this one because both quarterbacks are more than capable of throwing interceptions. That's why I didn't play the under, but I was also considering the under at 49 because I think everyone's expecting this high-scoring game when I think both defenses could really play well, especially up front. I think the run game could be a grind on both sides. So if there's conservative play calling, very well see an under. But yeah, I'm on the Pack.
I forgot to write it down, but Matt LaFleur, I know J7 mentioned it last week or last night in the Discord as well. LaFleur in December is hitting at like 70% ATS. Like in December is when you want to back Matt LaFleur teams. Yeah,
you read that last night in the Discord.
Yeah.
LaFleur in December. What was it like? It was crazy, right?
Yeah, it was like 70 something.
I think you said like 19-3 or something stupid.
Yeah, it was something. I wish I wrote it down. I didn't.
All right. Next up, it's a Sunday Night Football. This is probably the bet I'm most confident in, but the number's gone. So I took this. This is the first bet I placed this week. As soon as I saw the number, I took under 48.5. So I liked the under before I even knew the weather was going to be shit. I got really lucky in this one. So I liked the bet originally, and then it turns out there's going to be a bad weather, and then the number dropped. So yeah, I'm sitting pretty in this one. That means whether that's correlated with me actually winning the bet, we'll have to wait and see. But I have a full unit on the under here at 48.5. I'd still play it at 46.5 if you're wondering. First of all, we're talking about Michael Penix. We saw him last week, right? Michael Penix, he looked all right. They won comfortably. It was a home game against the Drew Lock-led Giants. A home game against maybe the worst team in the NFL right now. Giants, right? Probably the worst team in the NFL. Now you're going to go on the road and play a playoff team on prime time. By the way, Washington's defense looks good, which is not what I was expecting. Jaden Daniels and the offense has regressed a bit, and we'll talk about that in a second. But as far as the Washington defense goes, I mean, we're seeing good defensive performance after good defensive performance. This defense is pretty good, and I don't even care that Lattimore's not playing in this game. Other than Cooper Rush, I know this sounds crazy. Other than Cooper Rush, no team has. The last time a team threw for more than 225 yards on Washington was Week 6 on the road at Baltimore. Week 6. It's like 3 months ago. So, yeah, they're playing some good defense right now. Not saying that the Commanders are an elite defense or anything like that. I'm just saying this Washington defense is not bad. we kind of have the Washington branded as a team with a bad defense and an electric offense with Jaden Daniels. That's not what they are right now. They're a good defense. Their offense is starting to slump a little bit, showing a little bit of vulnerability. I like this Washington defense, and I think Penix is going to be in a situation here. A road primetime game in bad weather? What? Like, I don't trust a rookie quarterback to put up points in those kinds of situations, in that kind of situation. And on the other side, I kind of mirror everything I just said. The Falcons have all these offensive weapons, right? Like, they're known as an offensive team with Drake London and Pitts, and now Ray McLeod, and now you got Penix from Washington who was putting up all those points. They're just known as this like high flying offensive team. It's kind of like how they're built. That's not what we're seeing. And I know Cousins was a lot of it, but they haven't really been able to run the ball. Now I know, yes, they ran the ball on Minnesota, and even on the Raiders, they had 168 yards on the ground. They had 30% success rate in that game. The Falcons don't have a run game. The Falcons don't have a run game I particularly trust either. I think I just like accidentally switched over what I was talking about there because my spreadsheet was mixed up. My bad. But yeah, I'm on the under. Jaden Daniels and the Washington offense, I think teams have figured it out. I was trying to talk about the Falcons defense, and I opened up my spreadsheet, and the Falcons offense is there, and I just like kept going. But yeah, I'm on the under at 48.5. It's down to 46.5 now.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take Brian Robinson over 12.5 receiving yards here. Just feel like this guy is very underappreciated as a receiver out of the backfield. We got no Eckler in this one. We also got neither of the Browns on the field. No Diami, no Noah Brown on the field to compete for looks here. And I think Robinson's going to make it 3 straight cashes here, just cashed both of his previous games. See, without Austin Eckler on the field, B-Rob's only over in 2 of 4 starts, averaging 14.3 yards per game. But one of those misses came by a lone yard, and the other one came against the Titans. That's a defense that allows the second fewest yards per game to running backs through the air. What is more important to me is the fact that he was targeted 3+ times in 3 or 4 games and caught the ball 2+ times in 3 or 4 games. With 3+ targets, Robinson 9-4 to the over overall, averaging 33 yards, and 5-2 to the over at home. And with 2+ receptions, Robinson's over 13-18 games overall, and is 7-2 at home in his career. So very profitable with those types of look right there, with those amount of usage. And the Falcons defense since week 5, this is a defense that has been getting smoked by running backs through the air. They've allowed the 3rd most yards per game, most targets per game, and most receptions per game. We've now seen the last 6 or 7 starting running backs to face them cash the line, and I think B-Rob joins in on the fun here, especially with the rainy and windy conditions likely making Daniels lean more on the intermediate pass options. Also, I kind of thought the Terry line was a bit weird in this one, especially for him at home. I thought that'd be a lot higher. So yeah, I just went with B-Rob over 12.5 receiving yards.
And someone in the comments, it's Brian Grabrenz, who's a cool guy, by the way. He said, that slumping offense just laid 36 points on one of the best defenses in the league last week. Yes, against the Eagles. That final score in that box score is a little bit misleading. Number one, Kenny Pickett gave them 7 free points. And number 2, midway through the 4th quarter, they had 220 yards of offense. Jaden Daniels put together hero drives, which I'm not saying should be discredited. Just put together 2 hero drives at the end. They gave him 160 yards of offense, plus the Kenny Pickett 7 free points. If you took away the Kenny Pickett interception that gave him a touchdown, midway through the 4th quarter, Washington had 220 yards and 10 points or 13 points or something. So I'm not trying to discredit them. I'm just saying one play bounces differently in the 4th quarter where the Eagles will get the ball back and chew the clock out, and Washington very well may finish that game with 17 points on the board. It's I that sounds like I was trying to like discredit those hero drives at the end. That was awesome. I'm just saying Washington wasn't consistently moving the ball in that game at all. Actually couldn't stop turning the ball over. Toast.
I have nothing in this game. There's no chance in hell I would play a rookie quarterback on the road in a primetime game. So as much as I want to believe in Michael Penix, especially makes this Falcons teams better because they can actually do play action and stuff like that, there's not a chance in hell I'd bet him. So it'd be Washington or pass for me.
All right. Should we do a community parlay?
Yes, sir.
Community parlay, the parlay we bet, yeah. Community parlay is for the community. We come unite, making a parlay. Yeah.
You know, you always cut the song off before it goes, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to do the community parlay. You do the underdog?
Yep. Ghost with Prop Beaver does all that research for his bet to lose. I know, dude. It's painful. It's not fun.
That describes like 97.9% of bettors, by the way.
I was gonna say, yeah. I was gonna say 98 or 99.
I think it was 97.9% last year that finished the year down. So if you bet the entire season and finish dead even at 0 units, you're in the top 2% of the country or the world.
The only difference is that we show our faces every day and other people don't have to.
Well, yeah, you know what betting is like, sports betting or probably any gambling. It's like golf. Everyone has a better score when they're playing by themselves, right? and then and hold on. And here's the thing that it's very similar to golf.
That's a good one though.
So everyone has a better score when they're playing by themselves. That's why everyone thinks live betting is so profitable. Yeah, because you're not tracking it. Like, because you're like, I hit live bets all the time. And it's like, if you hit live bets on a stage with people like, give me live bets, and they actually like went through it, be like, oh no, this isn't very profitable. You just only remember the ones you win. But anyway, it's so unique, betting and golf, in a sense that people don't realize that they're lying. So you can't even fault them, because they would pass a lie detector test. I have friends, good friends, not people that are liars. They're like, yo, what do you shoot in golf? And they'll be like, oh, I shoot like mid-80s. They would pass a lie detector test. They actually think they shoot that. And then I'll play golf with them. They'll shoot a 97 and act like, oh, this was just a bad round. They don't even realize that, like, what happens is they play a round on the back nine. They figure something out and, like, par a few holes, and they're like, oh, this is what I shoot now. This is the type of golfer I am. And disregard, like, so that's the kind of thing with betting is people don't realize that they're like, you could talk to somebody who's not a liar and be like, oh, how are you doing this year? Be like, oh, I'm up like 10 grand, and open their account with them and see, and they'd be like, oh shit. Like, they would like legitimately don't know. It's a crazy phenomenon. Yeah, anyway, underdog.
No, it's fine. I'm complete opposite. I'm honest to a fault, and holy Lord,
we have to be, because we're in front of the public eye.
Obviously, but I just, in my general life too, and holy Lord, it's been a tough season. But here we go. We got our 5 picks. So yesterday we got reverse sweats. Let's not do that today. We got Bucky Irving higher than 88.5 rushing yards. We got Devon A-Chain low in 33.5 receiving yards. Actually got a really nice line on Underdog here. Josh Downs higher than 59.5 receiving yards. Gina Reed higher than 53.5, and then B-Rob higher than 12.5 as well. The Underdog promo of the day was Tua, and guess what? He's not playing, so no promo of the day for any of the new customers. However, if you are a new customer and you would like to either fade my thing, or you would like to tail for some ungodly reason, or just want to make your own, you can do so in one of these yellow states right here. Just got to use the promo code BET, and you can get a deposit match up to $1,000. It is 3 letters.
Who's worse, Dark Cloud or Prop Beaver? Like, I'm just kidding.
Dark Cloud. Dark Cloud during March Madness was like I thought you were gonna go on a killing spree, dude.
It was bad.
Yeah, but that's how things flip. Because right now you're like the star. Like, everyone's like, what are Toast picks? Like,
for now.
Yeah. And then in 2 months, like, I'll get hot again. You'll get cold and be like, why is Toast on this show? He sucks. But yeah, I hope to be part of the movement that is the new. That's why you guys see me in the Discord implementing those where you can input your bets. I hope to be part of a new era of betting where everything's transparent, in a sense where, like, you don't have to pretend like you're some super winning bettor here, because everyone's cool. Like, everyone's like it's cool. You're down 10 units. No, like, so am I. You know, like, I want to be part of the new. Hopefully a new era in sports betting where you don't have to walk around trying to pretend like I'm so super sharp sports bettor that's up. Like, dude, even the sharpest sports bettors have losing seasons. So, like, the idea of whatever.
That's the part that bothers me, is that there's a lot of people that have shows like us or Twitter accounts that, like, don't even take into consideration what other people say because they don't think that they're good enough or whatever. That's the part I love about Discord, especially like the college basketball. There's 4 or 5 guys in there that I trust what they say. I'll tail a bet from them because they know what they're doing and stuff like that. Just because they're not on the show doesn't mean shit. Like,
exactly. Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of sharp people in there. So the second poll is it's Bucks and Eagles so far.
Okay.
All right. Who do they vote for? Titans or Jags? Who would you think, like, the public side would be there? I don't even know. How about we do a separate poll for just Titans and Jags? Because I don't even remember what they voted for. Yeah, I'll throw the Discord link up. You have to go on the Discord on the welcome tab. You have to verify your email. So you have to sign up on the website first. But I'll throw the invite link to the Discord down there, but you won't be able to actually access anything until you are able to sign up on the website because you type your email in to verify it. But appreciate it.
Are one of these teams making
parlay? Hold on. I don't think Mr. Weskers understands what a unit is. It's a variable used in equations and communication. It's so I can tell somebody or someone can tell me that how strong they feel their edge is in the game. But if I tell somebody I'm betting $200 on the game, they don't know what that, like, okay, should I? That doesn't mean they should bet $200.
Then they're going to ask, like, well, how much should I bet?
Exactly.
And then somebody else is going to ask, well, how much should I bet? And then a third person is going to ask, well, how much should I bet?
It's a variable. Me telling somebody I'm betting $200 on this game doesn't tell them anything. They need to know what percentage of their bankroll they should bet. And unit is the perfect way to do that. Or some people just use percentage. This is a 2% bet. This is a 3% bet, which is completely cool too. So they like the Titans, by the way.
Okay.
So the second place finishers were don't put the Titans in the community parlay.
Is that like actually going in the parlay?
No, it's going to be Bills, Commanders, Packers, Titans. Is going to be the last poll.
Okay.
Bills.
Two college hoops plays if you guys want them. Maine, Boston University under 132. Iona, never mind, it's 5 now. I liked my Iona -3. I don't like them at -5. UT Arlington +6.5 as well. That's it.
Weskers is getting cooked now, but you know what? He did the way he talks to other people. Dude deserves it. I don't dislike him. He deserves it.
Yeah, he's a bit. He's controversial. He's supportive,
he just doesn't
though.
like me. I don't understand.
No, well, he has his people
of me.
Yeah, he'll be like an asshole to toast, and then he'll post something like Kirms sits on his throne. He rules with grace and poise.
He likes me.
What do I even respond to that? We're going first and second from this poll. So
I like when he talks like we're Game of Thrones characters.
His name is the Resident Evil guy.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yes, Weskers, we know the confidence you're picked is baked into the dollar amount, but how would you communicate that to someone else? How would you? All right, so you're saying you're a high confidence bet for you is $500. What if you're talking to somebody that only has $500 to bet with? Obviously, they shouldn't put their entire bankroll on the bet. So you would say this is a 5% bet, or I'm betting 5 units. So they know, okay, I should bet $25 on this relative to their bankroll. Because a $500 bet to you, maybe to me, that should be a $2,000 bet to someone who has more money than you, or someone who has less money than you. It's relative to your bankroll. It's a percentage. It's a variable.
That was a flex.
All right. End poll. Bills and Commanders complete the community parlay.
Let me get that. So Eagles, Bucks. Oh, it's essentially your guys' dope parlay plus.
It is our parlay. Well, I'm not saying our. I don't want my name attached to it. It's Toast Parlay.
That's mine.
That's your super dope parlay plus the Commanders at +194.
So the community parlay is the Toast Parlay. Someone said basically yes.
See you guys at the pay window.
See you out the window. What is the odds on this?
+194. It's actually a bit better than I thought.
All right, so we got Eagles moneyline, Bucks moneyline, Bills moneyline, Commanders moneyline +194. Thanks everyone for watching. This season's been great, man. We had a ton of people. It's the shittiest Sunday ever. There was like 3,500 people in here. Really pumped about it. Can never thank you guys enough for the support. And we got a lot coming up. If you're new to the YouTube channel, January, February, March is like, because of college basketball and NBA, that was when we got the most views ever, was March Madness last year. We have a lot of fun. So I appreciate all your guys' support as always. I'll be in the Discord all day if you need me. I'm I'm just working on a couple things from the computer, so you guys can get in touch with me. I'll be in the chat watching the game. So, everyone,
keep me in
later.
your prayers, and I'll keep you in mind. Stay goated.